What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Aydian here.
And Jenilee.
Welcome to the first episode of our pregnancy journey, no longer our journey to pregnancy. It is Sunday, fun day. Jenilee and I are having kind of like a relax at home chill day. Lucky's here, been doing facials, hot showers, fun, good, yummy dinners. I'm traveling from Oregon all the way to Florida for 3 days, so we want to spend some time together. This video is about our birthing choice and why we're choosing it, what it is, and how we feel about it. So, welcome to episode number 1. Alright, so I'm gonna let Jenilee pretty much give you all the ins and outs of it, and then, you know, we'll go to the end. I'll kind of jump back in and let everybody know my feelings about it.
So, most people choose to birth in a hospital, especially in the United States, and we have chosen to have a water birth, and we're going to do that at a birthing center. Water birth is when you birth your baby into water. So essentially we would be in a tub, like in an actual bathtub, water tub. There's all different types of tub options that you can go for, but because we're doing it at a birthing center, it's going to be a tub that's there for birthing, and it's really cool because, you know, the baby can still breathe when they're birthed into the water because they're actually receiving oxygen through the umbilical cord. And I've just always had a vision of having a water birth, even before like we were anywhere near pregnant or, you know, really even starting the process. It was just sort of a vision of mine that it would be really cool to be able to do that. And it's not like I had much experience or knew anyone firsthand who had done that before. It was more like I heard about it and then I just started being like, that sounds like something I really would want to do. I've always loved water. I just feel really in my element in water. So we started doing research and, you know, we watched some different videos and we saw how gentle of a process it can be to actually birth the baby into warm water, and how that warm water can actually be really soothing to me as the woman birthing the baby as well. Can actually provide pain relief and just a lot of comfort to be held in that warm water. And so,
I can be in it.
Yes, and Aydian can be in it with me, and we can kind of, you know, we've even seen videos where you know, if there's an older child or like, you know, you can have, you know, depending on the size of the birthing tub, it can be like this very intimate experience with the family or the couple.
We could bring Lucky.
Yeah, Lucky does not like, we tried to put Lucky in a bathtub once, it did not go well. She was like scarred for life.
No.
Yeah, so that is what a water birth is. The reason why we're doing it is because I've always had a vision of it. We have had really good experiences watching videos of other women birth this way, and just heard really great things, even from some of our followers that have reached out and said, yeah, I had a water birth. This was actually really cool and amazing, and this transcendent experience. And I see birth as a sacred rite of passage, and being in the water just feels like the space that I would want to do that in. I really imagine a gentle birth. I imagine a birth in which I'm not in a state of panic or anxiety or stress. I really want to prepare my body and myself and my birthing team, including Aydian, to be really calm and peaceful in the process. In terms of how we're gonna do it, we're choosing to do it at a birthing center. A lot of birthing centers are right next to hospitals. Ours is as well. And it's our first birth. And so us as a couple, we feel really good about, okay, so we're doing this water birth thing that can be done at home, can be done pretty much anywhere there's a tub. We're choosing to do it at the birthing center because that's what feels good to us. Our insurance actually covers the birth at the birthing center, including the water birth. So we feel really good about that. You know, to have it at home, we would have to rent a tub and, you know, pay a midwife and, you know, pay people to come in. And, you know, we got a tour of this birthing center. It was just absolutely beautiful. Gorgeous. And very serene and calm, and we had so many, you know, great questions answered. They were really friendly there. So,
and they do about like anywhere from like 90 to 100 births a year. So that's only on average like 2 babies a week. So the chances of us pretty much having the whole place to ourselves are pretty high. Not that that's like a requirement, but it's just, you know, it's our first birth. It's like, I don't know, something about that feels cool. And we like walked around it. There was this really like cute rooster who was there, which is pretty cute and funny.
Like followed Aydian to the car.
Me. I wanted to take him home so bad. But it's like really nice because, you know, you're gonna have to like, you're gonna wanna walk around and everything. So for me, like the water birth at first, when we first got together and she shared this with me in the very beginning of our relationship, like years ago, I was just like, yeah, sure, water birth, sure, no problem. Tried to get pregnant back in October and it was like, oh, okay, so now we actually might have a water birth. So then I started to just like, you showed me a lot of like books or like articles and videos online. We watched the Birth into Being video and that was really helpful. And like for me, it was more about just being like, I really believe that like us as humans are like, we have this really great new world that we live in, that's technology and all these things right at our fingertips. But we also have this like embedded, like animalistic connection, and that's why we love animals and stuff, and that's why we have like connection to the earth, the planet. That's because we are animals. And so a part of me is like, you know, we don't interfere with other births, you know, with cats and cows and eagles, like all these things, you know what I mean? And like, so to me it was just, it felt really natural like for a woman to be in control of her own birth. And of course, like the part of me that was a little nervous still, like, you know, it kind of gets subsided because this birthing center and most birthing centers are pretty close to a hospital. This is my first birth. Like, I've never even like been around babies very much, so like for me, I just only see like all the TV shows and they're always dramatic, you know what I mean? And like, so for me, that kind of calms that nervousness in me and lets me really focus on just like being here for Jenilee and being transgender. Like, I feel like a part of me feels like I gave up the ability to have this really beautiful experience of birthing a child. Like, that's a really, as I learned more about it and I talked to other men who, you know, before they had a baby and then after their partner was pregnant or whatever, you just learn just how magical it is to have a baby and like what this female body like goes through. And so for me to be as connected to that birth as possible, so like being able to be in the tub with you, not having to wear gloves or, you know what I mean, when I touch my baby, like just really having that connection there feels so good to me, as opposed to having some barriers between that. Again, I really have confidence in our ability to take care of a child from birth and on. Again, I was pretty nervous, right, in the beginning. Yeah. I was pretty nervous. I was still open, and Jenilee really wanted it, so I really tried to learn. It just feels really good now. Like, now I feel like it's definitely something I want to do. I don't have any questions about it. I don't really even think about it now that the hospital is so close, but I will say that was something in the beginning that made me feel more at ease. So it's really interesting to go from kind of like being scared to now really feeling trusting in the process. Having this water birth at the birthing center feels really good. It feels really cool and adventurous to be able to have a baby this way. I mean, they just really let you in control there. That was the number one thing we noticed, is they barely look at me. They could really care less about me. They all eyes are on Jenilee. You know, every question, I asked a question and she answered Jenilee, which is great. You know, it's a woman empowering space, and that makes me feel good. And I feel like our baby, whether it's female-bodied, male-bodied, intersex-bodied, whatever gender it decides, I feel like that's going to be a really powerful thing for them to be birthed in the first few seconds of their life in this really female empowering state. So again, it feels really good to me, and I think I'm not nervous, but I have like just the nervousness of just like the fact that we're gonna go in there as 2 people and we're gonna leave as 3, that is like a little nerve-wracking. But you know, otherwise I'm really excited about it, and it sounds like a wild ride because nobody I know has done it. I texted my mom and she was like, braver than me, you know what I mean? So it's fun, and it sounds like it's gonna be just a really unique, intimate experience.
Yeah, I definitely think that's the most exciting part, or the part that's most important for me, for it to be intimate, for us to be in control, for us to be able to do whatever we want in the birthing process and not be told, no, you can't do that, or you know, have these interventions coming in, because that doesn't feel good to me. It doesn't feel comfortable to me. We're excited. I feel really good about it. Honestly, as soon as we got to the birthing center, like, I was kind of like nervous, and then by the time we left, I was like, I feel so good. I feel so like relieved, because you just don't know, you know, if it's your first time doing anything and you're just kind of like, this is what I want, can this actually happen? Am I going to be supported in this? Like, what if they tell me I can't do it this way, or like one of my questions is answered in a way that doesn't feel good? But we didn't have that experience, and I just feel really grateful for that, and grateful for the opportunity to birth in the way that feels really good to us.
Very, very awesome. If you like this video, stay tuned for episode number 2. You can hit the subscribe button, like this video, and drop a comment. We want to know, like, have you had a water birth? Were you water birthed? Just what are your curiosities? For me, I just learned there's so many different ways to give birth. It's pretty cool, and all around the world, people do different things. So it'd be cool just to continue the conversation down in the comment section below, and we'll catch you in the next video. Peace.
Bye.